All right then. So, hello there. Welcome back to the James Rich Show. It's Wednesday, so tonight it's all about Man City. If you watched our show yesterday about Liverpool, we were just going over Liverpool's chances on how they'll do in the league this season. We didn't really cover that much the Champions League. I'm sure we'll cover the Champions League a little bit more with Man City. So, first things first. Obviously, I wrote an article on Man City and their upcoming chances this season, their key players, who they're going to bring in. Who they have brought in. If you want to read that, go to my Medium account. So it's medium.com/@JamesRichShow. So let's crack on. If you saw my tweet earlier, we've got a few questions about Man City, which we've been asking a few times. Obviously, the Harry Kane saga is going on and on and on and on. Whether he'll sign or maybe apparently he may do a spectacular U-turn and stay at Tottenham Hotspur and sign a new contract. Maybe that might happen. But the question we're going to ask today is, will they try and sign Harry Kane? Which is a good question. Really good question. After signing Jack Grealish, you'd think no. I mean, Man City are going to spend, 250 million on two players? Perhaps not. It's a bit of an ask. But Man City are the sort of club that can spend 250 million on two players. They make out as if they haven't got any money, but we all know they've got money, and they need to replace Aguero, so Kane will be a very feasible replacement for Sergio Aguero, one of the Premier League legends. Good evening, Ike. Oh, good to see you back, Ike. Good evening. So tonight we're talking about Man City. So people don't seem to be as much as interested in Man City as they are with Liverpool or probably with the other clubs. But that's very normal for Man City. They are quite a boring side. They are quite sterile. Good evening, Sebulously. Nice to see you back. I know we had Liverpool yesterday. You had a good discussion. Be interesting to see what you say this time about Man City. So will they sign Harry Kane? If I had to bet yes or no, what would I say? I would say I'm 50-50, because it's gone on a long time now. It's gone on quite a while. So I'm not sure. And they've spent the money and the season's starting soon. So it looks as if at the moment, unless the deal's done rapidly this week, it looks as if Harry Kane will play for Spurs against Man City. Maybe he'll score. Maybe he won't play well. We'll have to wait and see. But he seems like a good lad with a great attitude. Good evening, Fred. Nice to see you back again, Fred. Rafa, holla, Rafa. Sebulously, yes to Kane, but it's going to the final day. But yeah, I can probably see that. I can think that the transfer window will be very good this summertime. I think a lot of them are going to go straight down to the wire. People like Harry Kane, but the clubs that haven't got that have already done their business, are sitting pretty. Clubs like Man United, who don't really... I mean, I think they'd like to see one or two more faces, Man United, but they've done most of their business nice and early, which is, I always recommend that for football teams. So will they sign Harry Kane? I don't think they will. All right, I'm going to put my neck on the line. I don't think that Harry Kane is going to go to Man City. I think that Man City don't seem to be that interested in signing another striker. Maybe that type of striker Pep Guardiola's not interested in. Has he ever really been interested in that type of striker? He likes to play technical players, doesn't he, or false nine players. So, obviously Kane would make the team better. But he's going to be too much money, and Daniel Levy's going to be too greedy. And Kane's, the only thing Kane seemed to have in his locker was to not turn up for training, and that's backfired. So I think Kane isn't going to go to Man City, me personally. Might do next summer, or maybe in January. But I don't think he's going to go to Man City. I think he's going to stay at Tottenham. And he's going to be wasting his career for another year, in my opinion. What do you guys think? If they don't sign Kane, who will they sign? What, as a striker, Man City? As I said yesterday, they've got a lot of players who are number 10s and in attacking positions. I think they're just happy with that. They'll just play, like how Barcelona did or how Spain did. That they don't want a proper striker. I think they're happy with Jesus, but they don't really have... I can't really think of the strikers that are out-and-out strikers. Think about them. Samuel Eto'o wasn't with Guardiola for long. Zlatan wasn't with Guardiola for long. I think Lewandowski was very good for Guardiola, but he doesn't really like that type of striker. So we'll have to wait and see. Or do they need to strengthen elsewhere? Man City, well, we can go into that. Do they need to strengthen their team? I don't think so. Maybe left back. Mendy's always injured. Zinchenko's not bad, but maybe a left back. Not sure which one, but perhaps the left back. I mean, everywhere else I was writing about, the centre midfield's very strong. All of the attacking midfield and the winger positions are all exceptionally strong. The right back position's very strong. I mean, he can play that Cancelo on the left or the right side. And then you've got Diaz and Laporte, who's probably the best centre-back pairing in the league. And then they've got the goalkeeper, Ederson, who's one of the top 3 goalkeepers in the league. So they've got everything needed. You know? They've got everything needed to win the league, and it's up to them to win the league, right? I mean, everyone agrees it's 1.75 for them to win the league on the betting exchanges. So, you're not getting much money back. Well, you're not getting much money back on that bet. So it's a sure thing, apparently, Man City to win the league. So we're going to have a look into it. And they've also got Champions League, haven't they? They've also got the Champions League campaign, which they'll really fancy this season to, finally get to the Champions League. They came very close last season. Obviously, Chelsea beat them to it. But Man City will be fancying their chances this season, and they'll probably be favourites for that too. They're probably going to be favourites for the Champions League. Them, obviously, as long with PSG. But imagine if that was the final of the Champions League, Man City versus PSG. That would be that's a nice little caveat into my little the next section of what I wanted to talk about, which I want to put mainly most of this show into. Have clubs like Man City and PSG, have they ruined football? Have they ruined football, do you think? Let me know what you know in the comments. Obviously, when I say ruined football, they've just came in, bought everyone. There's no struggle. There's no sense of achievement either, because they've just, everything's paid for. They've got the best of everything. And when they win, it's expected. Whereas even before with Sir Alex Ferguson, or Liverpool before with Bill Shankly and like later Paisley, they're built and developed them sides, and then they got all the glory from it. They didn't just buy it all and like Man City have done. And in the space of 10, 12 years, Man City have went from nothing to everything, haven't they? Really, and it's not taken that long. All what they needed to do was get the right manager in. They've had a few good managers that have won on the league. They've all had money to spend. I mean, obviously, a few of them made a few mistakes in buying players. Definitely Mark Hughes, but the others have all done quite well in buying players. And it's quite easy when you've got a bottomless amount of cash. I still don't understand how Man City and PSG are able to get away the financial fair play rules. I think it's very, very strange. It's a very not catch-22 situation, but a strange situation in regards to the FIFA fair play rules, because the teams will break the rules and then probably just pay a fine for breaking the rules of making football ridiculous with money. So it just doesn't really make any sense. I mean, what do you guys think? Have PSG and City ruined football? Because a lot of clubs they're thinking the only way really how you can get back to be one, to win. It's the only way that the smaller clubs have got a chance nowadays. I mean, the Leicester season was still crazy, but if you're a West Ham fan, or maybe if you're a Newcastle fan when they were linked with the Saudi royal family buying them, but I think West Ham's the next big one that's going to get bought by someone with a lot of money, because it's a London club, and they got that stadium, and the owners will sell it for the right price. But I think it is ruining football, honestly. Especially, we'll have to go back on to Messi, who's went to PSG. Obviously, not many people can afford Messi's wages. Obviously, PSG can. And he's made out that he's looking forward to joining PSG and he wants to win the Champions League. So, it's going to be good next season, the campaign of the Champions League. So it should be an interesting season. Well, one thing that I wanted to talk about, one thing that I'll mention is because obviously some of you will be watching the European Super Cup, won't you? So I'll keep you a few updates on that. Let's just see what the score is at the moment. Still 0-0, 12 minutes played. I'll keep you updated on that if any of you are interested in the Super Cup. I didn't really think people were saying today, did you want to do a watch along of that? And I thought, I think it's a bit boring, that Super Cup. It's a little bit like the Community Shield. Well, it's very similar to the Community Shield. So I didn't really want to watch that game. I think it would be quite boring. I can think maybe it'll be 1-0 to either side. In fact, let me just put my screen on so we can see, because I want to see the lineups as well. See who Chelsea are playing. I know we're doing it about Man City tonight, so all you Man City fans are going, why are you talking about Chelsea? But this is live, so we'll talk about this for the time being. 1 second. What are we saying here then? There's no drama at these clubs. No need to worry or speculate about. They just get the job done, and if they fail, they'll come back next year and win everything. Yeah, exactly. They don't ever fail, do they? And if they do fail, they just go out. They're like robots, really. It's like a machine. There's no blood, thunder, and passion. Thunder and passion, because there is no passion at Man City. It's just any problems they got the money. They just got blank checks for everything. They've got the finest everything, and then they want everyone to pat them on the back if they win the treble or the Champions League. It's like, well, yeah, obviously you spent billions of pounds on transfer fees. Like, what do you want? It's expected that you win it. It's a bit boring for the other clubs. Well-rounded clubs, but there's nothing behind the eyes. Yeah, exactly. There's no soul in the club, is there? Like, no, I mean, if there's any Man City fans or PSG fans, but there is no soul because, I mean, there was before with Man City at Main Road. And Man City have been in the shadow of their rivals for most of their career. I would say all of it until they were bought, right? There was never a point where Man City were better than Man United. So in that regard, the Man City fans did deserve what's happened, but I still think it's ruined the football. Abramovich was the first that ruined it, right? He was the first one that ruined it all by just coming in and throwing all the money around. So it's moved on from there, and Chelsea sort of still get away with it, don't they? Because they're not as bad as Man City. But, Chelsea and Man City in the top four. I mean, think of that 20, 25 years ago. You never would have thought that them two would be, it could be a title race between Man City and Chelsea. But let's just quickly have a look at the Chelsea team, what he's gone with. So he's went with three at the back. That's quite interesting, actually, because I was wondering if he's going to go 4 or 3 Chelsea, and he's going with 3. And it's probably his best, it's one of his strongest sides. He's not went out with a load of kids or weak players. You can see some of them have probably been rested. So he's got Mendy in goal, who looks like he looks like he's the first choice goalkeeper. Kepa's obviously lost his place. Chalobah, Zuma, and Rudiger. Chalobah, I didn't realise he was back at Chelsea. I thought he was always out on loan, wasn't he? But maybe he's a player that's going to feature for Chelsea. That's why they're not going to maybe get Jules Koundé, because Chalobah is going to be playing. Who knows? Chelsea fans, let us know in the chat if he's any good. And then they've got Hudson-Odoi, who's been playing this wing-back position, who I think will be good there. And Alonso, who on the left side. I mean, it's a good side. It's a very good side. You've got Kante and Kovacic in the middle of the park. Ziyech, Havertz, Werner. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's an excellent side. You can tell a few players have been rested, I think, just for the start of the season. Like Mason Mount, I think he would normally get in. And like Jorginho, because, they both played the final of the Euros. So, I could look at the Villarreal team, but I don't really know most of their players. They're just a load of, I didn't realise Sergio Asenjo played for him. It's a bit boring. There's no fair completion and no more competition. No more. Yeah, exactly. It's just a bit boring. There is no competition, is there, between the teams? The only way there'll be competition is when teams like Man City, Chelsea, and PSG are competing with each other, and there will be. I am dreading the day. I mean, we had it, didn't we, last year? If you think about it, Man City versus Chelsea was the day of that. where football has been bought, and that's the final of the Champions League. Two sides that if you said 25 years ago them two are going to get Champions League football, everyone would laugh at you, especially Man City, because Chelsea were a bit better than Man City, but still, Chelsea were never, Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, even like Spurs or Everton. About that level, to be fair, weren't they? Spurs or Everton, Chelsea, I'd say. I'd say, yeah, they are about, but they're just more successful, obviously, because of Roman Abramovich. With Ramos, Varane, and now Messi gone, is there anyone left in La Liga that will bring in a big TV viewership? Suarez, Griezmann, nothing much left now. I was thinking that actually earlier. I was thinking, who's the best player in La Liga now? Because Real Madrid there's a lot of them that have left Real Madrid. David Alaba's obviously came in, but a lot of them have left Real Madrid since. Especially. I mean, how do you? They must want another centre back, surely, Real Madrid, because they've sold their two centre backs. Well, they're not sold both of them, but they've left. Ramos and Varane have left Real Madrid, so they need some sort of defence. But who's going to be? Toni Kroos probably is the best player in the league, but he's getting on a bit now. Probably Luis Suarez. I mean, it's not like the best players in the world, undoubtedly, are in France, right? Obviously, Ronaldo's in Italy, but you can't really think of the other best players in the world who are playing in Italy. France have got Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe. They're three of the top, I'd say, 7 best players in the world. I'd say the top 5 best players in the world would be Messi, Ronaldo, not in any particular order, Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Kevin De Bruyne. It depends if you do defensively or if you just keep it to attacking players, which ones are the most important. I'd go for someone like, I'd always go attacking, but I'd always go for someone like Lewandowski or, someone like that. But it'll eventually, not Lewandowski, it'd be Mbappe, I would say. So I'd say PSG got 3 of the best 5 in the world. And they still won't win the Champions League, but we'll do a show on PSG about how much of bottle jobs they are, but they've had a great transfer window. What are you guys saying? Don't you think that it's weird that Ramos and Messi will play in the same team? Think Ramos will be kicking the shit out of Messi in training, haha. Yeah, they'll probably be laughing about it. I saw a meme today about when PSG play Real Madrid and Casemiro will be hacking Messi for PSG, and Sergio Ramos will be going there to the defence of Messi, which will be a bit of a strange one, because obviously Casemiro before and Sergio Ramos were teammates. But yeah, let's go back on to Man City for a while. I mean, Obviously, I want to do the show on Man City, but as I say, it's a bit boring, Man City. They are a very boring side. Everything's perfect. The only thing is, will they get Kane? I think it might be, if they get Kane, it will be some sort of players involved in the deal. And they'll make out as if, they haven't got all the money. But they've got all the money in the world. They need to sign whoever they want. So, have they ruined football? Have PSG and Man City ruined football? Yes, they have. Honestly, we can't say anything else. Yes, they've ruined football because it's just made it boring for all the other teams. The other teams can't get anywhere near them. It's like men playing against boys. It's like, well, yeah, obviously you're gonna win. Like, well done. So it's not like that. Moves on to my final question about City. So I might wrap it up about City. Do a bit of the gossip column. Chat some more about the game, the Chelsea game, and. Because there's not that much to say about City, I'll be honest. I mean, who's passionate about City? Like, obviously the style of play is brilliant, right? The style of play is great. But other than that, I mean, well done. You've got to play 11 players that are all minimum £50 million bought, and they're playing well and doing the job and winning the competition. It's like, well, yeah, what do you expect? That's the whole point in buying them for that amount of money. It's expected. There's no element of surprise there with Man City. Kane to play against City this weekend? Yeah, I think he will. I think he will be playing against City this weekend, and it wouldn't surprise me if he scores. I mean, that's an interesting one. We'll have a look at it. We'll predict that one, actually, because we checked. We said that Liverpool would beat Norwich 6-0, didn't we? 5-6-0 yesterday for the opener. So I'll predict the Man City game against Spurs. That's always quite a good game, Man City Spurs. I remember that Champions League quarterfinal where Spurs put them out. That was an amazing game. But it's always quite end-to-end football, Man City Spurs. So I could see that being a draw. I could see it being like 2-2 or 3-3 or, something like that. I can see it being a brilliant game. It's a brilliant game for the first fixture of the season on the Sunday. So, yeah, I think that'll be like 2-2, the Man City game. I don't think Man City will win, but it'll be a good game. Definitely be a good game. Kane to play, no element of surprise. Great point about City. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it with football, isn't it? All of football fans like the element of surprise. Whether you can go from one season, you're just like Leicester, just stayed up, and then the next season they won the league. Whereas with Man City, it's every year. Like for the other clubs to win that league, you got to beat Man City. And Man City are probably going to get at least 85, 90 points. At least. We said this yesterday. Every year they'll get that amount, so you're going to have to get more than that. So you're going to have to be on it to even beat Man City, because even when Man City don't win the league, they come second, don't they? They never come like fourth or fifth or sixth. So they're always on it. Kane to score, haha. I think if he plays, he will, yeah. I think he will score. I wonder as well, I mean, this has nothing to do with Man City, more to do with Spurs. How much the Heung-min Son would be rated at? I mean, because he's a world-class player. And it's talking about 150 million for Kane. I wonder how much they'd want for Heung-min Son. It'd be interesting to see. Very interesting to see. So let's move on to the final question about Man City, which is, can they win the quadruple? Can they win the quadruple? Now, do I think they can win the quadruple? If any team in the history of football could do it. And when I say the quadruple, 1 second. And when I say the quadruple, I mean the Premier League, the Champions League, the League Cup, and the FA Cup. They've done the domestic treble, I think, a few years ago, where they won the League Cup, and the FA Cup. And that's very rarely spoken about because nobody cares. Nobody cares about them winning about the domestic treble because it's expected that they'll win it. But I mean, people would care if they won the quadruple. But could they do it? Yes. If anyone can do it, it'll be Pep Guardiola and Man City to win all trophies available. I don't think it's ever been done. The last time the treble was done was Man United. No. Obviously, probably the Spanish clubs have done it a few times, but in England, yeah, it must have been Man United in '99 that done the treble. But no one else has really looked close to it at all. The only other team that should have done it was maybe the Arsenal Invincibles. They should have done it. And man, even when Liverpool won the league or the Champions League, they were never good in the other ones. And then it's very hard. You need a big squad and a quality in-depth squad to win the League Cup as well and the FA Cup, because the League Cup's already started, isn't it? Derby and Wayne Rooney came back to 3-3, and they won on penalties last night. So Kemi Tybalt will be happy. So it's already started. So I think it's the next round that the Premier League teams are in. So they start to play they're not going to play their first team 11. So, you've got to get through that first. And it's quite difficult, these parts, the early phases of the League Cup to get through. And then, it starts to be taken seriously, I would say, in the semi-final stage. Think, it's a bit of silverware. And it's mainly for the smaller clubs. The FA Cup, on the other hand, I don't know what they're going to do with that. I don't know what they can do with the FA Cup to, shake it up, give it something. I suppose only money will make it better, but it's very, very, very boring. Very boring. Not intense. Same with the League Cup, but the League Cup knows it's rubbish. The FA Cup thinks it's still important. But the same with the FA Cup, with the amount of games that they've got going on in the winter time, that starts in January. You need a big squad. And City have got that big squad, haven't they? When all of these players are fit, how are they all going to fit in? They can't. They can't, can they? That's why some of the players have left in the past. That's probably why Bernardo Silva might want to leave. That's why Sane left, right? He went to Bayern. Because obviously Man City, yeah, it's a great team. He's playing for Pep. But to play for Bayern is probably better because he'll play every game for Bayern. Whereas Man City, he'll just feature. That's probably the same thing that Bernardo Silva's thinking. I want to get out. I want to get to another good team. But where could he go, though? Where can he go that would be a good move for him, that Man City would sell him to? Because there was talk of him going to Barcelona, but I don't see how that one's happening. Would love Son at Liverpool. Quality player. Yeah, he would really fit in well at Liverpool and with Klopp's philosophy. I think he would be a brilliant player at Liverpool for him. I think he'd be 100 million. I think he'd be 100 million, definitely. At least because he's a goal scorer as well, isn't he? You know, and he's proven he's not had 1 or 2 seasons scoring a lot of goals, and he scores important goals in the Champions League. So I don't think he'd come cheap, Heung-min Son. Silva to Juve, maybe. You must be talking about Bernardo Silva. Yeah. I mean, I don't see why you'd want to go to Juve unless you want to play with Ronaldo. If I was Bernardo Silva, I would not be leaving Man City to go to Juve. Not in a million years. Um, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that Man City can win the quadruple? I think they can, but I don't think they will. Because they'll falter like most clubs always do. You know, someone will put them out in the FA Cup that was just unexpected. But they'll do well. I can see them getting at least semi-finals and runner-up in the Premier League in everything. You know, I think they'll be fighting for them all towards the business end of the competitions. Champions League, I think they'll win. Champions League, I think it's theirs this season. Obviously, everyone might be thinking it's PSG. Let me have a look at the odds actually on the Champions League. I always like to check with Betfair. You know, the best odds on the exchange. Just have a look at the odds on the Champions League. So, I mean, I'd expect Man City and PSG to be red hot favourites. Maybe Liverpool third. Not the Spanish clubs. I don't expect to be anywhere near the top, and they're normally the favourites, aren't they? So you've got favourite. You've got PSG at 4-1. That's a bad bet. That really bad. They've only got 35,000 matched at the moment, so it's not that mature, this market. Man City 4.8. Bayern, Bayern at 9. That's not bad. Chelsea, Liverpool at 10, 10.5 and 10. I mean, I can't see anyone else winning it below that. Maybe Atletico Madrid or Juventus on their day, but I can't see that happening. What did we say? Oh, Kemi Tiber is back. Well done with Derby last night. They should give the winner of the FA Cup 3 extra points in the next season. It's not a bad idea, but it'd have to be more than 3. That's not a bad idea. I like that idea. But what happens if they go down or something? They just still get them points added to them in the championship. You'd have to do it like that. But 3 points would be quite good. That's not a bad idea. I quite like that idea. That would be the difference between staying up and relegated, right? And clubs would be like, oh, if we stay in the... It'll be a little bit like when the clubs take the Europa League seriously now because they get the Champions League space, the Champions League spot, don't they? You know, it's the... What do they always nickname it? We're taking the backdoor route into the Champions League. It'd be interesting to see what's the best ever result by a team that's got European qualification by winning the Europa League. Like if it's ever, I mean, I don't think it's ever won the Champions League, but I wonder what the best performance is. FA Cup should get rid of replays, go straight to pens after 90, and have them a Champions League first, second qualification rounds like Rangers and Celtic this season. I think that, I mean, they're never going to do what I think they should do. I think they should just put the League Cup and the FA Cup into one and then do it more about the League Cup. You know, it's during the week. It doesn't affect anything else. So put the League Cup and the FA Cup. Just get rid of the League Cup and make the FA Cup the League Cup. That's what I would do. And then maybe do what you said, but maybe a few more points. Maybe give 5 points to the winner for the following season. Something like that. It's the only thing that they can do is give them points because they're never going to be able to promise them the money. So we'll have to see on that one. But I don't think they want it. They're just very, what's the word? They're very stubborn, aren't they, the FA Cup? They still think they're the greatest, and because they are the oldest football competition in the world. So they just rest on their laurels. But it needs a change bigly. And we're going to do I think we'll do a show on the FA Cup at some point. Since Liverpool FC is back, since Liverpool got their money, not Liverpool, since City got their money, they are now one of the biggest clubs in the world. Otherwise, they were a shitty club going nowhere. Well, yeah, definitely. But that's what the only. I mean, Chelsea were the ones before it. If you were watching the show earlier, Chelsea the ones that were, you know, that ruined it before City, and City are just a bigger, better version of Chelsea now, aren't they? Good idea, but the Premier League and the FA are different entities. I imagine you mean there, and the Premier League won't allow it. Yeah, that's a good point. What motivation does the Premier League have to, helping out the FA Cup? None, right? It just looks after. That must be one of the easiest jobs in the world. That CEO of the Premier League. Just what should we do this year, boss? Just keep doing what we're doing. But what do they do? That's a good job, no? Working at the Premier League, they're making a fortune. And I don't know how it works. Do all the 20 teams own 5% or something? I think they do. It's something like that. Anyway, guys, let's go back to that feature that I've added, the gossip column. Because we used to call it transfer news nonsense. I mean, it bores me all now, the transfer news. I don't know if Lukaku's gone. I think he's done. 1-0 Chelsea. Who scored? 1-0 Chelsea. Ziyech scored. Havertz assist. I think we're going to be saying that about a lot next season. Ziyech and Havertz. I think them two are going to do really well. How about the FA Cup being a super knockout tournament like the Euros for a month out of the season? Maybe December. Nah, that'd be rubbish. Just get rid of it and put it as the League Cup. And think if they could give them points or something. Any more than that, we don't want. It's not special enough to do that. They think it is, but it isn't. So yeah, let's have a look at the gossips column. I'll go through with it. I'll go through it and let you know my views. Oh, here we go. Back on PSG. Always PSG, PSG, PSG. All right. PSG will look to sell up to 10 first-team players to help balance the books. Oh, here we go. They're talking bollocks about PSG balancing the books. What do you mean balancing the books? The country's owned by that country, Qatar. They don't need to balance any books. I remember someone tweeting earlier, the only enemy that PSG has got is renewable energy, which I thought was quite funny. Following the signing of Argentina captain Messi, Senegal midfielder Idrissa Gueye, 31, and Ander Herrera, 31, and 28-year-old Icardi are among those who could be moved on. Idrissa Gueye's quite good. He'll be good for a Premier League team. But it would be the problem is with these PSG players will be their wages. That's why clubs are not circling around them. Ander Herrera is going to be on at least 150, 160 grand a week. So who's going to pay him that? I mean, I thought he was all right, but I don't think like Draxler. He's on a few quid. He's never looked like he's going to leave. Icardi. I don't know if Icardi done well for PSG. I also quite rated him at Inter Milan. But maybe he's available for a team to move in on, for a Premier League club. Spurs, Arsenal, someone like that. I don't know which one of them two is going to be getting Lautaro Martinez, but one of them will be getting Lautaro Martinez. What are you guys saying then? Running the FA, if you need me to put a message under the door, have it. Okay, we're back on the Mike Bassett references. Yeah, he just puts the messages under the door and they go straight under the carpet and they're ignored. Yeah, I think the FA is still like that. It's an old men's club, isn't it? The FA. It's an old boys network. Still like that. And they always pick the right. I mean, I think Gareth Southgate is probably the best that they can do. There's nobody out there that's better than Gareth Southgate anyway. But they always pick the right man for the job. They would never pick someone like Cloughy for the job. Because he would say things that they wouldn't like, and the FA he doesn't like that. Phil Foden injured for a month. Yeah, I saw that. He's injured for a month. Maybe it was on here. That's convenient, isn't it? It's inconvenient for Foden because now he's going to struggle to get back into the team. But I think eventually he will. He'll get that right berth at Man City instead of Mahrez, like he was playing for England. But if he's out for a month, it makes it easier on squad selection and keeping all the players happy, at least at Man City. Because then he can just have Grealish and De Bruyne. De Bruyne, I think, might be injured for the Spurs game as well, but we'll have to wait and see that on that one. There's no letter here, Mike. Yeah, he was just going all underneath the carpet. That was hilarious. We'll have to maybe put some clips out of Mike Bassett for any of our fans that haven't watched it. It's one of the funniest films That's definitely one of the funniest football films ever. So next point, Man City are planning to open new talks with Brazilian goalkeeper Edison and for Phil Foden over new contracts at the Etihad. Well, of course, maybe they'll make out that they can't afford them, but they're just all going to sign massive bumper contracts. United have no intention of selling Anthony Martial this summer after the 25-year-old France forward was linked with a move to Inter Milan. Yeah, I mean, that was a transfer news nonsense bollocks. I think that people just pick names, and then because Lukaku's leaving, they think, oh yeah, they need a striker. Martial might not play, but I think Martial will get his way into that Man United side. I mean, Rashford's injured, isn't he? He's just had a shoulder operation. Who's going to play there? It's going to be Martial, no? Who else is going to play? I mean, it could be Sancho, Greenwood, and Cavani, but I think Martial will play instead of Greenwood. I think it would be Sancho, Cavani, and Martial up front. But we'll have to see what the Norwegian PE teacher does. So, good idea. Maybe it just needs reinventing. I think you're talking about the idea of him saying the FA Cup being like a super knockout tournament. I don't like that idea, but obviously you can email the FA, see if they'll agree with you. Paul Pogba will stay at Man United for one more year before joining PSG on a free transfer after they call their interest 2 years to focus on Messi. Man, if they get PSG, if PSG get Paul Pogba on a free transfer next year, they're such a great transfer policy. Oh, just wait for him to go out of contract to get him on a free. Donnarumma, Wijnaldum, Sergio Ramos. Imagine if they got Messi, Pogba. I mean, let's actually have a look at the players that are out of contract next year. Goretzka's another. This website here is the best for it. Yeah, it's Mbappe. I mean, obviously they can't sign Mbappe, but it wouldn't surprise me. So next season you've got Mbappe. Someone can get on a free. I'd like that to be Liverpool. Pedri. I mean, that would be a good one. If someone got Pedri would cost 100 million plus if everything was normal. I mean, if everything was normal, he would never leave, would he, Pedri? And then you got Goretzka, who didn't he go on a free to Bayern? He's clocked it. He's making all the money rather than the club. Then you got Pogba. I mean, you got Varane, but he's going to sign for United, so that doesn't count. Pogba, who's going to go on a free. He's worth 60 mil. 60 mil for Pogba, man. I don't think he's worth 60 mil, personally. And then you got this Ansu Fati, another 18-year-old at Barca. Them two are worth 140 mil. I mean, someone's going to pick up a bargain with them two. These 3 deals with PSG have probably been arranged from years ago. Probably, but still, you've got to take your hat off to PSG for arranging them, no? Barca losing their 2 best youth players for free. Yeah, I mean, that would... Maybe their youth players, though, might stay. But then you can't sell these 2 players because these are the future of the, the rebuild stage of Barcelona. So they can't sell them. If they'd be silly to not sell them, to lose them on frees. It's obvious the deal had been done ages ago. You're talking about PSG there, yeah. Are you talking about Messi? I think the deal was done ages ago. I think that was just all a show over the summertime. He was never going to sign. And then we've already said it on the show before, that it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse at Barcelona. Because the only thing that they've got going for them now is that the window's open, right? So at least they can sell their players and get some money in. When the window's closed, how are they going to get any money in? So the banker must be telling the Barcelona board every day, sell your players, sell your players, sell your players, get rid of your players, get rid of your players, get rid of your players. And they're not doing it so far, but it's just going to accelerate and accelerate and accelerate and accelerate the longer it goes on. PSG may have a lot of footy gods, but could have adverse effect. Too many egos, man. Maybe. I mean, they've got Messi. I mean, this PSG team. I mean, as I say, they've got Messi, and Neymar, and Mbappe up front, which is 3 of the top 5 in the world. And this PSG team does remind me a little bit of the Galacticos, with Beckham and Figo and Zidane and all that. Superstar players, but they never. I mean, I think did they win the Champions League? I don't think they did. Not. I mean, they did in 2000. The last time Real Madrid won the Champions League, when it was 2000, and then there was that massive gap. But La Decima. So the Galacticos never won the Champions League, did they? And I don't think they even came that close. And that's what PSG are going towards a bit now. Because that goalkeeper's a bit Galactico-y as well. He's going to be one of the best in the world, isn't he? Player of the tournament. At 22, he's only going to get better. What were you saying? Yeah, Messi knew Barca couldn't sign. Yeah, I think that, and I think Barca knew as well, and they just knew that I bet you there's a lot of Barcelona fans that cried when he left, and obviously you can see why they do, but I honestly, they're really, really sad that he's left, and no one could have ever thought that this was ever going to happen, that Messi was going to leave. But you really think about it, I reckon they knew he was going to leave when his contract went out, which was on the 30th of June, and then from the 30th of June until a few days ago, I think it was just bollocks. I think it was just keeping up appearances. It was all the dog and pony show. They'd done that PSG deal months ago, I think. Because they were so quick, weren't they? They were so quick. Messi was Messi out before Fred. Yeah, he was. Maybe Fred's got on the inside line. Fred finds that one funny. It was a show for the fans. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was all just a show for the fans. Do a press conference. I think he did a press conference today, didn't he? And he wants to get to PSG and really wants to win the Champions League. That's a good joke, Lionel. That's not going to happen, is it? But yeah, you lot of Barca. Bet you a lot of Barca fans are now PSG fans. Haha. Yeah, they are. A lot, especially like international fans in Asia and stuff. PSG's. I saw something on this earlier. PSG's Instagram followers, or I think it was Instagram followers, have doubled since Messi signed for them. And think about how much that must be worth to them. It went from like 20 million to 40 million in like a day. And you think about it, Messi's paying for himself. He's already paying for himself with a move like that. What, 20 new million Instagram followers in a day? And they've not even paid a transfer fee for him. So he's already paid, he's already paid them back handsomely with interest already, Messi. Bet you lot of Barca fans we said that. Fred got it spot on. Yeah, dear Fred. Well, Fred, I don't think Fred said he's going to leave. He says he has to leave. So, why? I don't know why he had to leave, because I don't know if Fred was arguing that he was toxic for the players. But yeah, Fred did get it right. We've got to take our hat off to Fred there. Fred got Messi right. Fred saw what was going on. The rest of us were reading the fake news, weren't we? Actually, it was a sad day for Messi, not financially though. I don't think his heart is in PSG. We will see. Oh, no, his heart. No one's heart's in PSG, are they? I mean, who's? They've not even got like any local. They got any French players? I swear they haven't. Oh, we got Mbappe, obviously. We got Mbappe and that Kimpembe, but they don't have any like local players, do they? At PSG, really? Unless Kimpembe is from Paris, maybe he is, but. No one's heart's in PSG. I mean, they only go to PSG for one reason, and there's two reasons maybe. It's a bit money, obviously, and glamour. It's quite probably his wife wanted to live there. Oh, let's live in Paris. It's nice for him, isn't it? It's not like same with London. That's it. Pissing it down all the time in Paris. I don't think they'll like that. The weather compared to Barcelona, and. Whether he can speak French or not, I mean, just learn money. What we're saying here, I had inside information. Yeah, it sounds like you did. Just notice that Dembele on the screen is injured again, haha, and is on a free next season, 120 million down the drain. Yeah, oh yeah, let's go back through this. Look at this player. Look at these list of players that are on frees. So if I was managing a football team in the Premier League or, higher levels, I'd just be concentrating on these players, right? I mean, Dybala. They're saying he's worth 50 million. I mean, you could already start speaking to him saying, listen, we'll give you this amount next year, and then get him to sign him a pre-contract in January, or bid 20 million for him. If you're Spurs or someone like that, there's, 20 million. What the worst they can do is say no. But these players here, then you've got this Camavinga, who's meant to be one of the best young centre mids in the world. 55 million. I'm sure Rennes would accept a bid of 15, 20 million for him. I'm sure they would right now. Get something out of him. Dembele's there. Insigne's only 30. I thought he was about 35. Well, Ronaldo's out of contract. I wonder if he'll do the same thing to Juventus next season. Like go, I'm signing on, and then imagine if he goes to PSG. I could see that happening next season. Mbappe will leave on a free, and they'll replace him with Ronaldo, and PSG will be the ones that will have Ronaldo and Messi and Neymar. Wow. Yeah, watch that. Clip this, what I've just said now, and this time next year is going to be Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar. Wow. And then they still won't win the Champions League. What are we saying then? So we can go down the list a little bit more. So bits, maybe they're all worth quite a few quid. Brozovic, Pellegrini, all worth 40 mil. Sula. There's a lot of players on this list that clubs should be looking at to, either sign cheaper this summer or just keep in contact with them and get them next summer like PSG are doing, because the PSG strategy is amazing. Because let's say they sell Donnarumma, it doesn't work out for them. And Donnarumma's, they got on a free. How much do you think they're going to sell him for next summer? They're going to sell him for at least 50 million. At least. He'll be on a 5-year deal. Still won't win the Champions League. Yeah, they won't. What is the French league salary cap, though? They can't have all those players. Yeah, but it's bollocks, isn't it? All is what it is. We spoke about this earlier. They just break the financial fair play rules and then just pay off who they need to pay off. And there's loopholes and they're exploiting it, aren't they? It's nonsense. You just get fined for spending too much money. It's like nothing's going to happen because, and with Messi, there's no transfer fee. So I imagine there must be an easier way to get around it. This is how PSG are getting around it, isn't it? They're just signing players on frees and they go, well, we're not spending any money. Just giving them high wages. And they've got a point in a way. They're not spending any money, really, are they? I don't know. I've never really looked at the financial fair plays. But, yeah, it's a weird one. Have you noticed that all the good players basically play in the Premier League and PSG and Bayern and Munich? That's it, lol. What do you mean by that? There's loads of good players playing outside of them teams. Loads of them nowadays. There's, like Jack Grealish at Villa. Some of the Leeds players. Like, there's a lot of quality players in poorer sides. Like Declan Rice at West Ham. I don't know what you mean by that. Fair play rules, fine for paying too much money. That's surely a contradicting the rules. They should fine them by dropping points. Yeah, you're right. The only way that they can really get these teams to take the financial fair play rules seriously is not banning them buying transfers like they've done to Chelsea. The only way is what El Pool FC 1 there says is they've got to, if they're serious about it, the only thing that will punish them is docking them points, aren't they? Really, if you think about it, because what's the point if it's just a financial thing and you just fine them again? They don't care. They'll just pay off the money. It doesn't make any sense, as you say. It's contradicting. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, West Ham are in the Premier League. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Basically playing the Premier League and PSG. Oh, sorry. No, I reckon there must be some great players that we just don't know about. Like, that guy that Liverpool have signed. There must be a few good players at Leipzig. There's a few good players at Atalanta. There's a few good players at Lille. There must be a few good players at Inter Milan. There's a lot of good players in Germany. What do you mean? And plus Munich. What about Haaland's in Dortmund? Still don't agree with you. Still don't agree with that sentence there. I think there's loads of good players everywhere. But obviously the Premier League players go for the most amount of money. Derby got punished with the transfer embargo. Yeah, that's what they seem to do, isn't they? They just do these embargoes. And it only affects the smaller teams. The big teams don't even take it seriously. Do you remember when something happened to Man City, didn't it? Didn't they get banned from something and then they just appealed and then it was fine? Something like that. Haaland will end up in the Premier League. Apparently Bayern want him. Bayern are interested in Haaland. It wouldn't surprise me if Bayern get the job done because the rest of the teams are fannying around, aren't they? Bayern Lukaku. And Man City aren't even linked with him. Banned from Champions League for 2 years. That was Man City, right? Yeah, and then nothing happened and then they was like, oh, just give us some money, you can do what you want. They were like, oh, okay. Fair play rules need to change. Yeah, well. Listen, the people who are writing the rules are all on the same side, and they're all on the same side. It's like the fox guarding the hen house. Like, there's no one there that wants to, actually wants anything to change. They just want to show that they want things to change. There's a big difference there. These fair play rules, no one knows what they are in football. They just sound good, don't they? Oh, yes, and we adhered by the financial FIFA fair play rules. Yes, yes, yes. And when we don't, we just appeal and just... It's nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. So, I wanted to go back to the gossip column, because we've got to wrap this up. I mean, I don't really, as you can tell, I don't really like doing stuff on Man City. They bore me. Spurs are in talks with Lautaro Martinez, despite reports suggesting Inter Milan are willing to sell both the Argentina striker and 28-year-old Lukaku, who's finalising a move to Chelsea. I don't know if that deal's done yet, but I don't think that's true. I think he's going to go, and it wouldn't surprise me if Spurs get him, because Arsenal seem to be fannying around. See, Spurs and Arsenal were telling me Abraham, and Spurs getting him. What are you guys saying there? You've clipped Ronaldo, Messi, and... Oh, alright, cheers for that. They're all shoveling money into each other's pockets. Yeah, exactly, they all are. I assume you're talking about financial fair play and, like, the officials and all that. They're all on the same side. They're all patting each other's backs, We're the idiots, not them. Qatar have got the water closet. Oh, I thought you meant that Qatar have got the toilet. No, I'm only joking. Qatar have got the World Cup. Need we say more? Yeah, exactly. And I think Qatar owning PSG has helped them a lot to get the World Cup, because that's probably got them, connections with the people that they need to get. Because PSG probably grease a lot of palms, They probably keep everyone happy. They're like it's politicians, it's politics at the end of the day, isn't it? You remember when Trump used to say, yeah, I see everyone, and I give money to them all. It's probably like that, keep everyone happy, because then they can do what they want. And what they want is the World Cup. We will see, yes. I don't know what we'll see, but thanks anyway. Lower league teams are more interesting to talk about than City. Yeah, they are. There's nothing interesting about City, so let's go back to the gossip column, and then I'll probably wrap it up. Let me give you a quick update on the game as well, the Chelsea game. And maybe eventually we'll have a correspondent like Cammy in Sky Sports. So I'll be like, we'll go to Ed at the... where is it now? What's the stadium that it's at? It was always at the Monaco Stadium. What's the score? Oh, I need to refresh this. Where is it? Still 1-0, it's half time. Where is it? Where is this being played? Or is it just at a random stadium? I don't know, but it was always at Monaco Stadium, wasn't it? That was bad. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be turning it on. It looks boring to me anyway. So it's 1-0 there, if anyone cares about that. Obviously, I like football, but watch it crap like that. What are we saying here then? Arsenal, Spurs, and Everton are interested in signing Swiss midfielder Dennis Zakaria, 24, from Mönchengladbach. I mean, you like what you were saying there, Seb, earlier about all the players are from the Premier League and PSG and Bayern and someone else, can't remember. But, I don't know this player, him, Zakaria. But I guarantee he's quite a good player, a centre mid from Dortmund. And they're probably going to get him at a good price. It must be quite good. So I bet there's tons of players in Germany you can pick up that are good players. Tons of them. What are we guys saying then, lowly? See Ron, Messi and Neymar, James. We will see come 2022, lol. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you did clip it. Oh, yes, I said someone to clip it, didn't they? And someone did. Nice one. I won't be watching the Qatar World Cup. 6,000 workers died building the infrastructure for that. It's a dirty project. We'll do something on the World Cup, but, I mean, you are going to watch the World Cup, so what are you on about? I mean, you're going to sit there whilst England are playing in the group stages, and and your mates are there at the pub, and you're like, no, not watching it. 6,000 construction workers died. I'm not watching it. No, you say that now, but you'll be gagging for the World Cup, and conveniently you'll forget about it all. Super Cup in Windsor Park in Northern Ireland. Where the hell is that? Where the hell is that? That must be like... One sec. Windsor Park. Is that their national stadium? Must be. Yeah, it is. It's in the stadium? It's not that bad. How many fans can get in there? 18,500. It's probably something with COVID. That's a weird place to have a final. I don't know why. I always quite liked it in Monaco. All right, let's just finish off these transfers and then go back to what you guys. I won't be watching. I won't be watching the Qatar World Cup because of the 6,000 workers, and Fred agrees with it. As I said, I totally agree with you both, but I'll still be watching the World Cup. What do you want me to do about the 6,000 workers? And why is it needed? Why have you needed to talk about Qatar with the 6,000 workers now? Who do you think built Dubai? You know, who do you think's building Bahrain? Or who do you think built all of that? Who do you think built New York? Who do you think built all the cities? It wasn't, you know, they basically always used slave labor. Who do you think built the pyramids? You know, what can you do about it? This is just how life is. I mean, and we just the West just turns a blind eye, doesn't it? Because it's in our interest. But and then we give them the World Cup to legitimise them. But what can James Rich do about it? Maybe one day he runs. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. 20,000 cap WTF. Are you talking about the capacity of the Northern Ireland Stadium? Yes. Yeah, I thought that's really strange. FA should boycott it. Boycott what? You mean you're talking about the Qatar World Cup? Imagine how popular that would make the FA, though. Because you're more probably right for like political reasons, but that is actually a political move, isn't it, to boycott something like that? Because Qatar will just say they're being racist or something, which I would do if I was advising Qatar. So I don't think they'd boycott it because people would go mental. People don't care, do they? They just want to see their favourite players play football. They don't really care about how the stadiums were built and all that. I mean, I don't think many people will want to go, but they'll probably just find people and make them go to the stadium, won't they? Linfield FC and Northern Ireland play that. If you build it, they will come. Build what? Are you talking about the Qatar World Cup or the Northern Ireland Stadium? This is like the heights of Northern Ireland football being in the Super Cup. Okay, I'll watch it. It's coming home. Yeah, exactly. Like they could be throwing workers off the roof right now and it could be going viral on YouTube and we'd still watch it. Because we'd forget about it. We've got goldfish mines, haven't we? Field of Dreams, sebulously. What, if you build it, they will come? I'm sure that was the Qatar 2022 sponsorship slogan, wasn't it? You know, like when they have slogans, when they pitched it, that's probably what they went with. If you build it, they will come. Who built the pyramids 2021? I mean, when they were built, you know, the oppressed people built them. If they build it, they will come. Yeah, exactly. That was the Qatar slogan. If you build it, they will come, and they're gonna come, aren't they? If you build it, they will come, and they are building it. They're throwing them up, aren't they? Jack Grealish states a conversation with former assistant manager John Terry helped him decide the leave to club for Man City. What a bollocks that is. And that's a whole article that someone's bothered to waste cyberspace on. Yeah, I thought speak to JT about whether I'm going to go to the Premier League champions or stay at fucking Villa. You know, I've went into an Australian accent now. I can't really do the Brummy accent. But I like his accent, Jack Grealish. He's got a proper Brummy accent, hasn't he? He's from Birmingham. And was he going to go to Man City or stay at Villa and do nothing? Well, why does he need to speak to JT? No, he doesn't need to speak to JT. So bollocks. Spurs, Arsenal and United are interested in quarantining Tolisso with German champions wanting 10 mil. To aid the pursuit of RB Leipzig's Marcel Sabitzer. He's alright, that quarantine Tolisso. He gets in the French team. 10 mil, that would be a good little signing for Arsenal if they could get him. But they won't, will they? Man United, 10 mil. Yeah, that's a good signing for all of them. But I think that's just something that's maybe might not happen, or maybe one of the other German teams might get him. I don't know, but I always thought he was quite good. I always thought he played. Liverpool and Lyon are a long way apart in the valuation of Xherdan Shaqiri. I mean, how much do they want? The Reds want 12 mil for the 29-year-old. I always thought Shaqiri was all right, to be fair. I always thought he was quite good. He's probably surplus to requirements now, though, because they've got a lot of young players coming through Liverpool. He's always, he can play in the midfield or he can play in the winger. He's not the best, but he's, pardon me, but he's not, he can do a job for you and he gets some important goals. But yeah, I mean, 12 mil, I'd probably sell him if I was Liverpool for 12 mil. That's good money. What are you guys saying? Remember when John Terry won the Champions League and changed into his kit? Oh yeah, the full kit wanker. That was funny. JT is on another planet. I always remember when Frankie Boyle said, if JT wasn't a footballer, you know what his job would be. And I could definitely see him being this person. You ever been to like Iron Appa or any of them places like Ibiza or just, any of them places that Brits will go or Europeans go abroad on holiday, youngsters, when you're like 18, 19, 20. And you got those dickheads when you're walking down the strip going, three cocktails, 4 shots, 2 Jaeger bombs, all for a £5, and they're just paid on commission. That's what JT would be doing if he weren't a footballer. Shaqiri is a bit hot and cold. Yeah, he is, and he's surplus to requirements. He's not, that's why he doesn't play, doesn't he? And you got like Jota, and they got like Elliott coming through. Yeah, they don't really need him. Really, I'd get rid of him if you can get 12 mil. Arsenal want to keep 25-year-old English defender Rob Holding at the club despite reported interest from Newcastle and Leicester. Rob Holding, I don't know. I really can't. He's been there for a long time, hasn't he, Rob Holding? I always thought his name was Ben, but it's Rob. He's been there a long, long time, and I haven't really seen anything of him. Callum Chambers is back there at Arsenal as well. I'm quite looking forward to the Arsenal show and the first game being Arsenal, because Arsenal could, kick off the Premier League in style, especially if they lose the first game away at Brentford. Brentford are unknown, and Arsenal, was shit last season, let's be honest. They were in a relegation fight before Christmas, don't you remember that? Imagine if they're in that again. Leicester are interested in signing Southampton defender Yannick Vestergaard. I worry for Southampton this season. They've lost Danny Ings, haven't they? They're their star striker that gets them a lot of goals. I don't really see that much quality in that team. I think they're going to struggle this season, Southampton. I think they're going to be in a relegation dogfight with a few other garbage sides at the bottom there, like Palace or Burnley, maybe Brighton as well. I think there's going to be quite a few of them. Leicester, we've said that. Everton forward Richarlison could feature in Saturday's season opener against Southampton, despite not having a sunbreak after representing Brazil at the Copa America and Tokyo Olympics. So, obviously he wanted to play, right? It's not like he's been sent down the mines, is it, for all summer? Maybe they should give him a break. If I was Everton, I'd give him a break. I wouldn't just throw him back in, because he's vital. He's absolutely vital to Everton next season, because they ain't got much going forward at all. So I'd probably give him a week off. I wouldn't play him. Give him a week off, go on holiday, and then bring him back for the second or third match day, I would do. Let's finish this off, and then we'll get the show done. Oh, we have a new follower. So, Chirexi96 is following. Thank you, Chirexi. Let me know in the comments what you think of the show. The show's on Man City, but we got quite bored of Man City straight away. So we're just doing the gossip column now. Chelsea are standing firm over the 25 million valuation for 26-year-old Kurt Zouma, who has been attracted interest from West Ham. Yeah, in this market, he's easily worth 25, 30 million. I think he's a bit erratic at times, but I think he's a good standard Premier League player, Kurt Zouma. He always used to play. He gets a lot of goals as well. So I'll be interested to see if he does actually go to West Ham and if Chelsea sell him. I think if Chelsea do sell him for 25 million, they'll just take that money and get that Koundé. What are you guys saying? Haha, John getting the Jaeger bombs in. Yeah, he would be. He's probably down there in Tenerife or something. Ben Holding and Rob White. Oh yeah, it's Ben White, isn't it? That's why I thought it was. So they got them two. They're both English centre-backs that, it'd be interesting to see what partnership them two will put together. Who else they got that? Gabriel or something? Maybe he might play. Other than that, can't really see much else happening. Southampton signed Armstrong from Rovers. Not sure about them. Southampton, yeah, they're crap. I've just told you. Where are they going to get the goals from? Unless that's this Shea Adams put pitches in. I can't really see it. So the last few ones. Sevilla director of football Monchi is waiting for Chelsea to call him so he can push through the 23-year-old French defender Jules Koundé move to Stamford Bridge. They're waiting for the call. Yeah, they're waiting on the call. I mean, I think that'll do. They'll do that deal, but they're going to get the Lukaku one first, and then they're going to get him second. I think they'll get that job done. Arsenal waiting on Martin Odegaard to decide on his Real Madrid future for pursuing a permanent deal for the 22-year-old Norwegian midfielder. I think he's all right, but I think Arsenal should get someone like Tolisso from Bayern. He'd be a better signing than Odegaard. Hearing Hector Tierney and Kieran Bellerin. Oh, what? You're just swapping the names around. I mean, Bellerin's got to go. There's a lot of them that have got to go at Arsenal. They need to clear out. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Let me just leave you with a quick update. I mean, this show was on about Man City, you know. Quick update is still, well, they've only just kicked off again, still 1-0 to Chelsea. As you say, I'm not watching this game. I'm not watching this game, really, so if you guys want to watch it. It's in the Northern Ireland, but we're going to go back to the show. So City today, as I say, City bore me a bit. Chelsea a bit bored. I mean, Chelsea are not that boring because they've got some transfers in. We can talk about the game today. We can talk about if they're going to play 3 or 4 at the back, what players I would play for Chelsea. I mean, let me just quickly, we haven't got too long left. Let me just go into my article on Man City. And this is what the team that I would play and the formation that I would play for Man City. If you can you, oh yeah, I need to move it back over. So here it is here. This is if they get all the right players. So they've got Ederson in goal, Walker, Diaz, Laporte, and then I'll play Cancelo at left back. Rodri in centre mid. This could be Gundogan, but either or one of them. And then if everyone's fit, you've got Sterling on the left, De Bruyne and Grealish there in the free roles to playing together, and then Foden on the right, and then Kane up front. I mean, that team would be unbelievable, Jeff. And then you've got Mahrez, Jesus, Bernardo Silva as your spares. But as I say, like, I mean, it might be Bernardo Silva instead of Grealish, you know? Grealish is not first name on the team sheet for me. PL exciting without Chelsea and Man City? Yeah, probably. But they are boring, aren't they, Chelsea? They're just going to go out and boil Lukaku. But I mean, they're not as boring they're not as clinical as Man City, are they? They're not as sterile as Man City. They're not as impressive as Man City because Chelsea are a bit house at times, you know? They still mess about, have shitty seasons, maybe come like 5th or 6th, whereas Man City don't do that. So we'll talk about Chelsea's performance. I'll watch the highlights later of Chelsea. We'll talk about Chelsea tomorrow. And obviously Lukaku could be done by tomorrow as well. And Koundé looks like it's going to be done as well. So we'll have a look at their team. Check out my article. Read my article on Chelsea before, and just go to my Medium page. Here's the Liverpool one, sorry. The Chelsea one is here. But it's just medium.com @JamesRichShow. And then you can just go down to the Chelsea one. Give that a read. I've just wrote about what they should be doing, the players, the best team. We'll go over this tomorrow. But yeah, give it a read and comment what you think. If it's any good, if it's way off the mark, let me know. Okay? So tomorrow we shall have a show on Chelsea. We'll see you at the same time. And then we'll have the big day, obviously, on Friday. We're all looking forward to the first game back. So watch out for followers, obviously, as you can see below, on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, all @JamesRichShow. So thanks, guys. Watch out for our social media, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.